Hey guys, and welcome to the fish room. I'm Rachel O'Leary, and today as I was puttering around the fish room doing my maintenance, I started thinking about what makes a successful aquarium, which aquariums that I have I think are the most successful. Now, just like in any other hobby, interest, industry, whatever, there's a lot of opinions on almost everything, and you'll find very much that your mileage will vary. But I thought today we would take a look inside my 75-gallon South American Nano community and just talk about some of the reasons why I think it's arguably the most successful aquarium in my fish room and the one that is best suited for people to try and duplicate. As always, thank you very much to my patrons. Bob Kaler is my newest super fan. I really appreciate all the support. Make sure you guys are subscribed with that notification bell on so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And now let's take a look in the 75 and just talk a little bit more about it. Now, this aquarium was initially started in January of 2018. I utilized Manzanita driftwood, Tropica substrate, and a wide range of low light, low tech plants. I don't use any additives. I don't run any CO2. I have had small amounts of hair algae, and I get a bit of green spot algae on the glass, but in its entirety, this aquarium has been extremely easy. It's planted with cryptocoryns, Nubius, bucephalandras, African water fern or bulbitis, and there has been some volunteer moss, which has also grown up the back wall. I did not place any moss in this aquarium, but as in all my aquariums, somehow it shows up. It is stocked with these Nanostomus espi or barred pencilfish, green neon tetras, otocinclus, a couple random apistogrammas, orange laser cories, Coreodoros habrosus, and somehow a single white cloud and a single rosy loach managed to get into this aquarium. I can only imagine it was through egg transfer from other aquariums. There is also one giant otocinclus in this aquarium that you can see on the wood back there. And one of the reasons I think this aquarium is so successful is that I have kept it very, very easy to maintain. It does utilize a bunch of botanicals, mainly almond leaves, which is probably the most labor-intensive part of running this aquarium, in that I have to replace them every 3 to 4 weeks, as the otocinclus really eat them. And that's part of the reason why I think the otos have done so well in this aquarium. Now, I think a key component to this aquarium being so easy to maintain for the long term has been that I planted to capacity. And what I mean by that is I put in all the plants that I wanted in the aquarium from the start, instead of relying on them to grow out and cover the aquarium. This helps them outcompete most of the algae and really just provides some really great cover for the fish from the start. I also chose to stock only a few species of fish in this aquarium, but have a whole lot of each. And as you can see, it gives the fish a lot of security, especially as small fish. All of these fish are around 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches. And by having them in these larger numbers, they really are not at all shy. They eat very aggressively, as you can see here. And everybody's body condition and behavior is super predictable. And this aquarium is just tons and tons and tons of fun to sit and watch. Again, you know, I think the tendency with a lot of folks when they're stocking an aquarium, especially when they're newer to the hobby, is you get a bit of collectoritis and you kind of want to add some of everything that you like, when the reality is with a lot of these smaller species in particular, there's very much strength in numbers. And while most people say you need a minimum of 6, I would at least double to triple that for some of the more shy species, especially tetras, as if you provide them with places to hide and they're not in big enough numbers, that is exactly what they're going to do. Now, there is arguably still room in this aquarium for more species of fish, but I kind of like it the way it is, not super crazily heavily stocked. And really, it's been successful in that the fish utilize all different areas in the aquarium. We have our Coreodoros and our apistogrammas and our otocinclus, which often hang out in this bottom third. The green neons hang out most often in the middle of the aquarium, swimming through the plants and driftwood. And then those pencilfish are way up at the top. Now, beyond planting to capacity and stocking large groups of each type of fish, I think one area that this tank really sets a good example is that all of the fish come from the same loose geographical region, as in South America. Now, they're not all from the same river systems, they're not even all from the same countries, but they all come from areas that have really similar parameters and sort of similar layering of fish. And I think that when you stock by loose geographical region, it really goes a long way to getting the desired behavior of the fish that you're keeping. For instance, apistogrammas can be a bit elusive if they feel threatened, so having fish above them and also alongside them with the cories has really made them very, very outgoing. Now, I often do not recommend keeping Coreodorus with apistos, especially in aquariums 20-gallon or smaller, but in this larger 75 with all the nooks and crannies, it hasn't caused any problems. You do want to take caution when combining those two fish, though. Again, by choosing fish that complement each other from the same sort of area, it really allows each of these fish to feel super, super secure and live its best fishy life. The pencils make the tetras more outgoing because the tetras see the pencils above them and they feel secure, and it's just worked out really, really well. This tank is exceptionally easy to feed. I give them a range of foods from dried like the Sarah Onip now to frozen like baby brine shrimp, Daphnia, and Cyclops. This tank gets water changes just once a week to every 2 weeks of about 25%. Now it is, as you can see, quite due for a cleaning of the glass and a refreshing of the botanicals, but it is absolutely one of my most favorite to just sit and watch in the fish room because there's always tons of activity on every level. There's constantly baby fish in here, and it's just, I think, a super successful aquarium. Now, I'm certainly not saying that a community aquarium of fish from all over the globe can't work, but what I am saying is that setting an aquarium up stocked like this has a lot less obstacles and variables, leading to unpredictability in the behavior of our fish and ultimately more struggle for us as aquarists. I really think that by grouping fish in small fish in particular in larger numbers of like species can really just be exceptionally rewarding and really pretty easy. Now, I know it's not in everyone's taste to do things this way, but it is my taste and this is my aquarium. I'm the one that has to look at it, care for it, and I hope that you guys enjoy it as much as I do, because I just think the beauty of the fish and the vitality of the area of the aquarium really just speaks volumes. And again, I think this is a pretty easy concept to duplicate, and it's one that I hope you guys enjoy. But as always, I want to hear from you guys. What do you think makes a good community aquarium? Let me know down in the comments below, and I hope you've enjoyed this video and sort of looking at this tank a little over a year later. I also want to know from you guys, if this was your aquarium, what would you add? Would you add more of anything? What would you change? I've thought about a lot of things. Now, I definitely want to add more Coreodorus to this aquarium. I'm actually hoping they're going to be breeding soon so that I can raise up babies in order to increase the schools of those fish in particular. I've also considered putting hatchet fish in this aquarium. And I obviously have considered pulling the apistogrammas that are in there, which are mainly female, and adding in a more specific group to work with. But I'd like to hear from you guys. I thought it might be cool to get some sort of pop of red in this aquarium. You can really see where the green neons get their name in this shot. They are definitely more green than blue, and they lack that red. So while I do consider this aquarium finished and super successful, again, it doesn't take any fertilization. It's just weekly to bi-weekly water changes. The fish are fat, happy. Many of them are breeding. The plants are relatively healthy, and it's super easy. I'd like to hear from you guys to know if you think it's finished. Let me know down in the comments if you have any particular suggestions about fish you would like to see added to this aquarium in the future.